What's up guys, welcome back to another video, and today we're gonna work on the exhaust again. There is only some little stuff that we still need to do, and that is connect a spring. Now we have a slide-on mechanism of the exhaust. That means we have a mount and the exhaust needs to slide on there. So there's no real bolts holding the exhaust on the cylinder head. Now with sports bikes and other types of bikes, they use springs. This means that the exhaust is pulled to the cylinder head so it stays on there and it stays nice and sealed. Now the benefit of this is you don't have to buy a gasket anymore. You have your mounting point that is on the cylinder, you slide on your exhaust and then you secure it with your spring. So if you are working on your bike, you can easily take the exhaust off and put it back on without making a new gasket and putting it all back on there and bolting on. Just remove this spring and you can slide the exhaust on there. Of course, there needs to be a little bit of sealant there, but you can buy that in tubes and it's pretty easy to replace. So that is what we're gonna do. We're gonna get this spring on there, and to get that spring on there, we need materials, and the materials that I'm gonna use to make my hooks for this spring are nails. I'm gonna use 2 nails. I'm gonna bend it in a U shape, put one at the mount and put one at the exhaust, and then we can connect our spring between that. But first I'm gonna have to clean this up, get this ready for welding. Remove the exhaust, remove the mount, remove everything so we can start welding, and once we've done that, we can final assembly it. So, quick time jump. We got the exhaust on there, the hooks are on there, the spring is on there, it's all sealed up and it's ready to go. It doesn't have to come off anymore. We're completely done with it, except for paint, but I'm not gonna do that right now because it is like 5 degrees C outside. And that's a little bit too cold for painting in my opinion. So I just put on the exhaust to get it on there and I don't have to worry about it if we want to start the bike. So let's have a look at my work. So this is where the hooks are and the spring. It's nicely tucked away. You can't really see it from the side or from the top. And I'm pretty happy about it. It was a little bit tricky welding the hooks on there, but I'm pretty happy about it. Now I couldn't get any gasket for this style, so I put some exhaust sealant on there. As you all know, we smoothed out this part right here and the plate before we welded it. So it's pretty nice and snug on there. Where the exhaust slides in, there's also some sealant right there, which will harden up when the exhaust gets hot enough, and then it should be completely sealed. Now the benefit that I'm talking about, I don't have to remove these bolts anymore. If I want to take off the exhaust, I just need to slide this off, clean it up, put new sealant on there, put it back on, and we're ready to go, because the exhaust will have to come off in the future. Now here is my wiring that I done. I already checked for Spark and we have Spark. If you want to see how to make this wiring, there will be a link in the description down below to the video of that, so you can figure out how to get your bike running, or at least get Spark. This is the bare minimum you got to do to get Spark, of course with an ignition switch. So we're almost ready to fire up. We got an exhaust, we got our Spark. Next up, we're gonna have to work on the carb. I want to get a throttle cable on there, connected to this throttle. So when the bike fires up, we can give it some throttle and see what we're working with. So what I'm now gonna do, I'm gonna take the carb off, clean it a little bit, see if everything is all right, get a nice jet in there, and then put some fuel in the bike and see if she runs. So I'm gonna work on that. I'm not gonna do that on camera. You see me clean the carb, you see me connect fuel lines, you see me connect throttle cables. So I'm just gonna jump into it being ready to start. So we connected the throttle cable to the throttle itself, and as you can see, the room is filled with smoke. That means the bike is starting. Now I couldn't really film it because there was an issue, but let me show you those clips first. One was on my phone to send to the shade, and one was like a quick recording. The bike was running, so I put the camera on, put my microphone on, and I wanted to capture the bike running. So that is how the bike sounds, and I'm pretty happy with it. It is very, very loud. It's louder than it should be. I'm a little bit concerned about that. It is very loud, but it has a nice ringing sound like a two-stroke, and I'm pretty happy about it. Of course, we're gonna need to do some other work, but let me show you the problem that was occurring, that I couldn't really film the whole process of starting the bike. When I first put in fuel, this fuel tap was leaking, and it was leaking very hard. It's not leaking from the inside because that is completely closed, but on the O-ring right here. I was expecting this, but I wasn't really expecting it to be too bad. I thought it would be okay, but that means I'm gonna have to source out a new O-ring to go right here, and yeah, then we have a nice fuel system. The carb doesn't leak. I'm pretty happy about that. There's no issues there. The wiring is good, the throttle is good, everything is good except for that fuel tap. We need to get this fuel tap fixed to get the bike in a more running state so that we can turn on the bike and don't have to worry about a big puddle of fuel underneath the bike. So of course, running a bike for the very first time comes also with some other issues. Tuning, for example, the air-fuel ratio isn't that good. I just put a jet in there. I think it was a 87 jet, and the bike runs, but it doesn't run really good. So I'm gonna have to work on that, but first we're gonna have to get that fuel line fixed before we even can try jetting, because I don't want to put fuel in it and then it leaking all out on the tab and then have to open the carb and change that jet and whatever. We want the bike to be rideable, but to get it rideable we also gonna have to work on the seat, and time is really crunching. I'm gonna have to work really hard to get that all done before the main event. Of course, parts is gonna be an issue as well, but yeah, that's just how it goes. But I'm really happy with how it sounds. It runs again. After more than a year of silence, the bike is roaring, and even my parents came out of the house to check out the bike because they didn't hear it for a very long time, and how it sounds now, it sounds absolutely perfect. But I think there's gonna have to be a silencer on there. It sounds a little bit better. I put in the piece that would be for a silencer, and it sounds a little bit better. Not too rough and whatever, but we're gonna have to see once we get the bike in a rolling state. I mean like a running, rolling, ready to ride, test ride stuff state, to see how it really sounds under load when it passes by in the outdoors, because now it's raining, it's cold, it's whatever. It's very bad time to test the bike. But yeah, the bike is running. I'm pretty happy about it. Hope you guys are happy about that as well. Hope you like the sound that it makes. And of course, we are one step closer to a fully fledged running bike. So that is gonna be it for this video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to leave a like and a comment down below. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram and TikTok. And if you're not already subscribed yet, subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it, and I will see you in the next one.